Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Behind the Hedges. I'm your host, Mitch. This is Matt over here, and we're about to get to some picks. But before we do that, let's do this thing.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
I'm going to post this one separately. We're gonna get two videos out of this. All right.
Utah versus USC.
Yeah, Friday night, 8 p.m. Everybody, if you ain't watching your local high school team play, then tune in and watch this one because it will be a
Why are they
couple
doing this now? Why are games on Friday nights now?
I don't. More eyes, I guess. I mean, you got. Geez, you got
Really?
all the Power Fives and all the Group of Five teams. I mean, if you got 10 conference championship games to run through on Saturday, people want to watch these things.
I'm going to yell at the clouds. College football should be on Saturday.
Yeah. Hey, facts, brother. And the other thing is that Pac-12 games, man, dude, I get tired. If it's 2 a.m. and I'm still watching a football game, and I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna be so tired, you know. Utah is the and one on USC's record this year.
Right.
They've already met. Utah beat them by 3, I think, right? If I recall correctly, I think Utah beat them by a field goal. One was it one? Oh, okay.
In their house.
Yeah. So, can USC beat Utah by 3 or more? Is the question. I think the answer is yes.
I think the answer is yes. This much maligned USC defense, and it had reason to be much maligned. If you've been watching, if you've been keeping up with your numbers, like all you good college football fans should be, USC's defense was trash. It was the narrative like, oh man, they're all Lincoln Riley once again got an elite offense, got a great quarterback, got no defense. The last 2 games though, specifically UCLA and Notre Dame, they nutted up. They did some shit. I don't know what that means moving forward, but I don't think you can just write them off and brush them off and wash them away like tears in rain. So I think they know what's in front of them. Beating Utah erases that loss. It's an avenging loss like ours was against Bama in the Natty last year. I think USC pulls this one off probably by more than 3.
Yeah, I think that line is really close. As a matter of fact, if you just said USC was favored by 10, I'd probably still take them. So you're taking the Trojans in this one?
I'm taking the Trojans in this one, yeah. I think they're going to get it done.
Well, no, we ain't going to waste no time on it. Let's get to it. Now for the Saturday games. Saturday noon game.
All right.
Kansas State versus TCU. TCU is favored by less than a field goal.
Yeah.
Is this shocking?
No, because they've been wanting the powers that be and certain other fan bases have been wanting TCU to lose for a while, and they just won't do it. So I don't know, man. The only thing TCU has done this year is everything you've asked them to do.
Right. We comment on this.
They got Baylor and Texas on the road, and man, they got a gauntlet. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, well, we've waited and we've seen, and here they are.
TCU beat them 38-28 already this year.
Mm-hmm.
Beat them 38-28, and it was one of those situations where TCU started off strong, and then Kansas State took the lead, and then TCU fought back. Yeah, it was one of those kind of deals. Dude, I'm with you, man. TCU has just done everything that's been asked of them, and they're a really great story. And were Georgia not involved in the playoff discussion, I would firmly root for them. You don't see them here very often. They don't typically have seasons like this, and yet here they are. Just doing what it takes to get the job done. They're a scrappy bunch. Thanks for putting the boots to Iowa State on Saturday, so they can score with you too. Now,
true.
The other is also true. Kansas State is no slouch. Kansas State beat who was it? There was a win it was against Missouri. They beat Missouri something like 55-10 this year. And I know what folks are going to say. That's just Missouri, Tennessee boat raced them and yada yada and all this kind of stuff, But like, honestly, dude, Missouri is not the type of team to just hand over 55 points, and Kansas State is not generally the type of teams to go score it, But they did, so that one caught my attention. So this could be an interesting game. Adrian Martinez moved over from Nebraska, and he's now at Kansas State. So they got some firepower, they got some experience there. New coach and all that, a relatively new coach. But so does TCU. Sonny Dykes. This is his first year at TCU, and Sonny Dykes has not lost at TCU yet. So. I think it's going to be a good one, dude. I like the Frogs to keep hopping, so I'm going to take TCU here.
I am in agreement with you. I think TCU also knows what's in front of them, and I think they're going to have business one more time.
Yeah, good deal. Here's our opportunity to say some things that didn't get said. I want to bring up two players. What do you make of Jaden Daniels against Georgia?
Man, he's fast.
Is he?
Fast. Well, hold on.
He?
Why don't you let me finish my sentence, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
He's fast when he's not wearing a boot. And guys, he's in a boot. They were hopeful he could practice today, but I ain't heard nair. Now he probably did.
I heard a report earlier today when I was at lunch that he was at practice in a boot.
And that sucks, man. That sucks.
Yesterday,
I saw it. I watched the first hit he took in the A&M game that he didn't get up from with any kind of confidence. And then I saw him again later in the game holding that same ankle. Now we know it's a sprain. It's not a high ankle sprain, and I want him full strength, but that's not what we're dealing with. I don't know, Mitch, if he's going to be fast. If he plays, I have to assume they got to make him play. You going to put Nussmeier out there?
No. Did you watch? This is sort of a sidetrack, a detour to get back to the point. Did you watch the Oregon State game?
A little bit, but not in depth.
Okay. At some point, Oregon was up pretty big. I think it was like 38-10 or something, like 31-10, something like that. They were up pretty big, and then Oregon State came back and won the game like 38-34. Oregon went for it like on fourth down 3 straight times and didn't get it. And they have Bo Nix running the ball for them on those plays, and he can't pick up that yard. He can't get around the pile. You know what I mean? And he was so hobbled. His tires were flat. He could not do it. And Oregon needed him to do it. And Oregon was made to look average at best. And they just couldn't do it. They couldn't beat Oregon State. And this is a team that was like lighting up scoreboards all year long, and was like, they're getting their revenge too. And this is, all this kind of business. And Bo Nix has even said things, let me get Georgia one more time and all this, and dude, they were decimated. They were laid low by injury. Injuries can do that to you. If this LSU team becomes one-dimensional, then I don't care how many Keyshawn Bouttes you have catching balls for you. It doesn't matter. A one-dimensional football team against this Georgia team will not find success.
They're going to need him to be effective in what he does best, and what he does best is just, take off and make your ass look foolish. I don't know how effective he will be at doing that thing, and I'm not really – that was my concern. I'm not really concerned with the rest of it because I think we match up with them pretty well.
The other player I wanted to bring up besides Daniels was Harold Perkins.
Yeah, old Harold Perkins is he gonna have a good career. Y'all hear me what I say? Did you hear me what I said?
Mm-hmm. I heard you and I believe you. I understand you.
Even when he's like whipping your ass, as an objective football fan, you just sit back and go, man, he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Like we've been up against bigger monsters than him. Will Anderson was fucking Heisman contender in some people's eyes. And Stetson.
Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo,
Michigan had those two monster pass rushers, and Stetson is, we ain't have our O-line. What our O-line doesn't take care of, Stetson just dodges. So I'm not necessarily concerned with that. I just need Stetson to throw the ball and hit his marks. If he can't throw the ball and hit the marks we assign him, it's going to be an aggravating night, I think. I don't know that they are going to beat us. Unless we just lay a turd, which we can.
What have I been telling you, Matt? The team that beats Georgia, the team that beats this particular Georgia team is going to require excellent defense and dynamic quarterback play. I think that LSU going into this weekend is going to be capable of at least one of those things, but I don't know if they're going to be capable of the other thing. And I think that's going to be their downfall ultimately. I think the game's going to be close. I will tell you this, and I'm going to, here's my pick. I'm going to take LSU and the points, but Georgia's going to win the game. 17.5 is too many points. I think Georgia wins by 10-14, somewhere in that neighborhood.
LSU 36th in total defense, 33rd in scoring defense. Not bad, legitimate.
Yeah,
they're right there with like Notre Dame and Oregon State and Texas. That's about where they're hanging out with Clemson. It's always too many points with Georgia because that's just not. And they'll cover because you picked LSU and the points. If we take Georgia to cover tonight, they'll win by like 1.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You gonna take the dogs?
Oh, hell yeah, baby. Dogs by 3 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
I love it. I mean, you're right. It's one of those situations where we'll look up in the middle of third quarter and Georgia's up 42-3.
Real talk. For anybody who's into these spread, if you're a gambler, do not, unless the sharps make a move late at night, do not bet on Georgia to do anything. Okay? That's as far as a cover. They'll never cover when you want them to. They'll let the other team win when you bet on them. If you bet the other team to beat Georgia, they'll pull an upset. Don't do it. Don't gamble on Georgia.
Yeah, they're heartbreakers for sure. And any more words about this game?
I think it's going to be a solid game. I think they're going to run out of gas about midway. I think it's going to be this kind of the same story we've seen all season. Even the teams that have given us trouble about midway through the third quarter, that 7, 6, 5-minute mark in the third quarter is when they're going to run out of gas because it's just going to be wave after wave. I am concerned. We know Nolan Smith is out for the season. Marvin Jones Jr. is injured with an ankle injury and apparently not going to be able to play. That's going to make Chaz Chambliss and big, beefy Robert Beal. That's going to put a lot on their plate. That could be a concern.
Bullard.
Boom.
Just remember that I said it. Bullard.
And Keely Ringo, if you're watching this, and I know you are, you can forget that chip 6 bullshit. You're on the shit list. You keep fucking around like you did the last 3 games, and me and Mitch going to come to your house and have a conversation.
We'll take your Christmas stocking away from you.
Being a bitch and cover.
All right. Michigan's favored by 16.5 over Purdue. Dude, I honestly couldn't tell you anything at all about Purdue this year. They're the Boilermakers, right? That's about like where I'm at with Purdue right now. It. I think Drew Brees went there. Like that's it. Right?
And damn near beat us in his last game. Like it was one of those, oh shit, we kicked the field goal, let's get off the field real quick before they get the ball back kind of things. If you go back and watch that game, Purdue and Drew Brees put the fear of God in Georgia. Although we won the game, we wanted no part. It was one of those, like, remember when Clemson, all they needed was like 1 more minute. They would have beat Bama. What was that, 15, 14, somewhere in there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was that situation, but with us and Purdue, like in 2003 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's all I know. But that's all I know about Purdue. And because of that, I think Michigan's going to stomp their guts out because Michigan is on a Michigan mission. They are ready to go people.
They are on a revenge tour.
Yeah, they're ready.
This is their revenge tour, and I believe you're right.
You want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
Right. Never rub another man's rhubarb. And with that, the late game, which actually starts at the same time as Purdue, Michigan, Pola Old Clemson is favored by 7.5 over the Tar Heels. Dude, is the ACC the worst Power 5 conference?
Right now, as we speak?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask Florida State fans, no, they're back. They're about to put that conference on their shoulders and take them right back to the promised land. The 1990s are coming back.
Oh.
And FSU will be the harbinger of that decade out of a time warp, which should also make.
I better go stock up on Manic Panic if the 90s are coming back. Start listening to.
It'll be flannel, tomahawks, gators. You might throw some hurricanes in there. Just the state of Florida is elated.
I think Eddie Vedder just dropped a new album.
Decided to bring it back. If you ask anyone else in the country, though, yes, it is the worst conference in the land.
I think it is. I mean, there was a part of me that wanted to debate the Pac-12 and the ACC at some point, but actually the Pac-12's turned out to be pretty decent this year. There have been a handful of teams that have been worth watching: UCLA, USC, Utah, Oregon.
I enjoyed, the two USC games I watched, which was their game with UCLA and then last week Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I had fun. It was fun. I mean, it was like, let me give you a little tidbit. I lived in LA for about 5 years. Those fans only care if USC is in line for a national championship, and when they are, they're very loud. Now, if USC falls off the map and does what they've been doing the past few years, you can hear a pin drop in the Coliseum. It's like the band, the student section, and like the guys outside asking for change. Like that. Now it's a fun time to watch because they're going to care because their team is winning, and that's part of why I thought it was funny.
So, I think that the ACC firmly has the worst conference, in grasp right now. I mean, did you see the game where the Duke player scored and then broke the U over his knee? Dude, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about the ACC is when a Duke player can break the U.
You mean like the Miami U?
Duke scored on Miami, and the player went into the end zone like this and broke it over his knee.
Okay. Okay. Bye. Who you picking? I'm gonna take. You know what? Clemson's gonna rebound. They got drunk. They're hungover. They're gonna sweat it out. They're gonna beat North Carolina. That's my pick. Write it down.
Okay. You're gonna take Clemson, dude. I think I'm gonna be contrary. I'm just gonna be contrary for the heck of it. I'm gonna take UNC, but I need all 7.5 points. I think that Clemson will probably win a squeaker. Yeah. UNC looked pretty bad last week, but I think that teams play better after they play bad. So I'm going to have Drake May bombing that Clemson defense, and DJ going to throw the game away, just nearly throwing the game away. I don't see them. God, why are they still running that dude out there at quarterback? And is Dabo Swinney a bigger fraud than Ryan Day? I need to know. These are questions I need to know the answer to.
Dabo's got a couple of rings. Ryan Day still hasn't accomplished that.
Right. So right now, Ryan Day just has fraud stamped, but like Dabo's trying to write. He's trying to write fraud up there on top of his head, man. He has made some boneheaded, like Jimbo Fisher boneheaded decisions over the past couple of years, and their empire is crumbling.
That's another right. I think they're still broken from when they played us.
Anywho, hey, dude, I hate to put you on the spot like this, but do you have any petty factoids?
No, I've given up on the petty factoids, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't feel the need to be petty anymore.
Oh, have we reached a new?
Well, not the whole. We're not there yet. There's still some pettiness coming here and there, but I'm telling you this. This may be maybe you don't want Georgia to win another national championship. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think you want that repeat, but you really don't. Because you know what's going to happen if we do.
You're going to be mellow. You're going to mellow out.
The Ducati persona may very well die.
Oh,
dead buried, and I might actually be a someone you can stomach to be around if you're not a Georgia fan. I'd actually relax and be a sane, reasonable human being. So you may not want that repeat because let's be honest, what would the world be like without this?
that's a good place to end it there. Hey, like, share, subscribe, all those good things, folks. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, 9:30.
Either very happy or very anxious to see if if we win, it's a lock. I still think it's a lock no matter what happens. But if we lose, there'll be some drama.
Yeah.
So we'll check back in and see what happens. Go Dogs! I think we got it though. I just don't know if LSU at this point is going to be able to stack up 4 quarters. But then again, that's why we have to play the game, and they do have. Despite their troubles, man, they got some dudes. They've always got dudes. Urban Meyer's on tape calling LSU the scariest SEC team, period. When they get off the bus, he said they looked around at the coaches like, what the hell are we going to do with these guys? That's a quote. Pick it up. It's on the internet.
Yeah. All right. See you folks next Tuesday.